But you will get this story because I sent it to Miss Evernote. Okay, she knows, okay? People asked this farmer, why would you share your precious prize-winning seeds with your neighbors? And quite simply, he said, if my neighbors grow inferior corn, then the winds will carry those seeds and the pollen and contaminate my fields and in turn hurt my crop. So likewise, today, I only have 2 team members here. My directors, Jillian and Amanda. We wish our consultants would be here, but they're not. Jasmine is in the hospital. Do we have a card that we could sign for Jasmine before we leave? Grace, can you find a nice piece of paper and we'll put some like taco stickers on it or something so I can include it with her goodies?
Yeah. Oh, I have a postcard that has, it's like
do it, go, Moulton, go, okay? So anyway. Oh, we don't care. She'll be touched. She's a sweetheart, and I pray that she's on her way home today. But anyway, we would love for our consultants to be here, but they're not. But anyway, I'm here for you. But I agreed, even though my consultants are not here, to come and train virtually a room full of strangers that really have no bearing on my personal Polito organization at all. But in the grand scheme of things that I mentioned before, it does have bearing. The overall company will be better if I have succeeded to make your businesses even one drop stronger. So that is why I agreed to come to the backwoods of PA and train you. Plus, I was promised a caffeine drip by Bot. Can we give it up for the coffee bar back there? Okay. And I've always been a day late and $1 short to these Bot retreats, and I would always see the pictures after the fact, and I'd say, I want to go to a Bot retreat. And you know what? To be here in front of you guys as the teacher instead of the student, I am beyond humbled. And again, I'm truly honored to say my little piece. And it truly never even I really felt underqualified. So I can only hope and pray that you didn't think that this retreat was a waste of your precious time and money. And seriously, I look around the room to my fellow leaders and friends with businesses that are stronger than mine. And guys, I want to slap you all. Why are you here to listen to me? Like, Friel, seriously? I was like, you're coming? But so I truly am honored and thank you for listening to me, seriously. But when I look back at my younger self, I would have never in a million years expected me to be up here teaching you guys. I get all the time, you are the most positive, optimistic, grateful, happy person that lights up a room with your smile and you're always so confident. Thank you. It wasn't always like that, okay? My parents, Yolanda and Tony, were off the boat. I told you a little bit, like literally my father practically fell off the boat. He was a survivor on the Andrea Doria in the 50s when it sank coming into New York Harbor. That was the one night that he did not go to bed early, and his friend said to him, stay up on deck with me and let's watch the ship sail to America. The one day that he stayed awake and all the passengers in the bottom cabins died but him. He came to America with the shirt on his back. Seriously, I was meant to sell kitchen shit, okay? That's it. My mother came a year later with my brother and to meet my father and for him to meet his son for the first time and to start the life in America. The typical immigrant story, right? But I grew up under Yolanda's regime. I adored her, yet I was terrified of my mother. In fact, my whole life, she called me Brutina.
What's that?
I'm gonna tell you, it means a little ugly. Just a little. Just a little. Just a little. Relax. I love my mother. But I heard it often, and yet she adored me because in the same breath she called me a tesoro. You know what that means back there? What? Treasure. Yeah, okay? Which means treasure. And I always obeyed my mother for fear of getting whacked. Okay? I got that A on that test because guess what? 99 was not good enough. Okay? I got that 100. I had to. I was terrified. Okay? I had to take Italian lessons before I could go out and play. So if you ever see me writing in Italian, it's because I learned Italian before I learned English, and I wasn't allowed to go and play in the park until we sat there and did the verbs and all of that. And she's dead 28 years, and that's like, thanks, Mom. I love that, right? Okay. Anyway, I was afraid to get whacked with the spoon and the slipper, right? She could ricochet around corners, like she always like nailed me in the head, right? Okay. But I know she called me that ugly word because it was her way of keeping me near her and not venture out. She didn't want me to go away. You guys get that? It wasn't, it was just, it was that way. That's what they did, okay? That's what the Europeans did. So it's okay.
She didn't care, she'd do nothing.
Right. So I had zero self-confidence, none. And I remember she forced me to sing in the Christmas talent show when I was probably like 6 or 7 years old at like the town with the Santa Claus comes and they give you like those weird like little candy canes and all that and whatever. And I got up there because she forced me and she told me, you know, you got to sing. And I'm like, I'm going to sing Silent Night. And I'm like, Silent Night. I didn't win. I didn't win. I don't think I got through the song because I probably peed myself and went to the bathroom. I don't know. But we lived in the Bronx, okay? Anybody ever been to the Bronx? It's a great place, okay? I love the Bronx, you know, and my neighborhood is still the good Bronx. I love the Bronx. We have the best bread in the Bronx, you know that? Real bread. It's called pana di casa, right? That's what it is. It was never sliced. My father would get that big round bread and break it off, and that was my spoon growing up and all that. But yet my mother would still have white bread in the house. We called it toast, okay? So I only knew of it as toast. So one day we were out of toast, and she made me go to the corner store to buy toast, and I was terrified to go, but I was more terrified to not go. So I mustered up all that courage to ask my mother, to ask the person behind the counter, I need to buy a loaf of toast. And he told me, we don't sell toast. I ran home to tell my mother, Mommy, they don't have loaves of toast. And she dragged me to that store, and she goes, look, the Wonder Bread, the toast, the toast. It was the Wonder Bread, but I was too afraid to ask. I was too afraid to look. I was petrified. But I remember that so well. Toast, okay? So 6th, 7th, and 8th grade were hard. They was the hardest. I was bullied relentlessly by a bunch of good old Catholic schoolgirls and boys. I was the smartest in the class. That makes you going to be tortured for that one, right? Yeah. Teacher's pet, right? The coach actually put me, I was actually very athletic. She made me take the spot of the cool starter in the basketball team. Tortured for that, but I had a great shot, so too bad, bitch, I was better than you, okay? I had a huge nose, I still do. Tons of zits in all oozing shapes and sizes, ooh. And a couture haircut a la Yolanda, sitting in front of the black and white TV watching Brady Bunch as she chopped off my hair with her sewing scissors. For years, I had not gone to a professional salon ever because she could do it. How's that for a visual? I was pushed, I was shoved, I had basketballs and paddleball rackets smashed. My purple bike with the banana seat and streamers was stolen. Okay? And I used to dial up, remember the rotary dial phones? Yeah. The cool girl and say, can I come and hang out with you? And she never outright said no, but you know what? I always walked behind the cool kids. Always. Always. And I was the last one picked for wiffle ball. Always. Even though I was good, I was still last. Okay? Always. Are you feeling the pain of this vulnerable 12-year-old, right? And had there been social media back then, I am 100% certain I'd have committed suicide with those sewing scissors. So thank God for no technology back then. So I got away from those people and finally made friends in high school, and I'm still solid with a handful of those girls, and they saved me. Then in high school, I had to take a speech class. It was required. And I remember going up to my English teacher, Mr. D. Palermo. I said, if I don't go first, I am going to puke on your shoes and pee on your floor right now. He let me go first, and I didn't die. And I